The happiest city in sports was Indianapolis because it had Peyton Manning, and then along comes Andrew Luck. One of the unhappiest cities in the world would be Houston because it lost like 16 out of 18 games to Peyton Manning, and then along comes Andrew Luck. What is the biggest and best possible upside for the Texans this year, given you had that window briefly with Gary Kubiak, got to the playoffs, but that window kind of closed? Is it having a chance of opening again anytime soon?
Yeah, no, those are great points, and we could use you down here covering the Texans. I'll be honest with you. They're not in trouble this year, but if you don't have Arian Foster for 4 games, there goes your playoff shot, right? I mean, they were 9-7 last year with 4 quarterbacks in Bill O'Brien's first year. The year after going 2-14 and everything falling apart, and Gary Kubiak basically had a heart attack on the sideline of a nationally televised game. So they did the right thing last year. They reset the foundation. They changed the culture. They got the Bill O'Brien type players. They got the 9-7 4 QBs. But honestly, best case scenario, they're 10-6 this year. And I think the thing they have to do, I don't care if they win 9 games or 8. It doesn't matter in the NFL. If you're not making the playoffs, you're not a Super Bowl contender. They have to continue to develop Tom Savage. He's a number 3 quarterback, 4th round pick 2 years ago out of Pitt. He's a project, but he's looked good during training camp, during the preseason. He played 2 quarters against the Broncos. He's a little shaky at times, but I think he has the potential to maybe become their guy in a couple years. So as the season plays out, they've got to have him ready for the start of training camp next year to compete and win that job. And at the same time, they're probably going to have to go out and draft somebody, and maybe for the first time under Rick Smith, former Broncos executive, really pull the trigger and move up into that first round and find that franchise quarterback, someone like Christian Hackenberg, et cetera, to give Bill O'Brien. If they don't do that, they're going to be a 7-9, 8-8, 9-7 team, and long term, that doesn't cut it for any owner in the NFL.
Brian, trade for Zach Mettenberger, okay? Just trade for Zach Mettenberger.
I like Mettenberger.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. No, you're right. Here's the problem. Guess who hates Zach Mettenberger? AJ Watt.
Right.
So I actually, I watched Mettenberger twice in person last year. I like that inner fire he has. He throws a really nice ball. He's kind of a throwback. He's probably got a little, I don't mean this big picture, but he's probably got a little Brett Favre in him, kind of backyard type of stuff. Obviously, I'm joking. J.J. Watt could get past it, but they're going to have to do something. If they don't, get lightning in a bottle with Brian Hoyer, which they're not going to do, it's got to be Savage. They're going to have to draft somebody.
Tell them one other thing. They don't have to turn the temperature down to 50 degrees in the press box.
Woody's still thawing out, Brian. Brian, thanks for your time, man.
Anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Brian Smith,
great.
sports columnist, Houston Chronicle.